Down-to-earth person. I expect a lot from myself. I'm a hard worker. I sometimes struggle with insecurities and things like that. So I'm just a normal, real person, basically. There's nothing to it, but I do know that I'm special, so that's cool.
Born into a loving family with 10 children on a poverty-stricken farm in Nakopo, Jay always remembers her childhood as being carefree and happy and dreaming about the day that she would become a star.
I really can't complain about the way I grew up, but I would have preferred to be able to go to maybe music school and drama school and things like that, but we couldn't. So I worked with what I had, you know, so I've gotten quite used to hard times. So I think that's why I am the way I am today. I really appreciate everything. And I try not to take anything or anyone for granted and just, you know, be the best I can be.
In 2003, Jay's life came to a screeching halt when her beloved sister and 2 adoring children were tragically killed in a car accident.
That was like the biggest blow that life has offered me this far. It really changed me a lot, I must say. Sometimes I try to fight that fact, but it's really just, it's changed me in so many ways. I've become so much harder, and I've become so much more, in a weird way, more sure of myself, because my sister kind of instilled that in me, even though she was 2 years younger than me. You know, she always had that strength that I admired and I felt I didn't have. You know, so losing her and the kids was like a major, major blow. I would have them back. I would give my left arm. I'd give my anything just to have them back. And I think this music thing, this whole Jay thing, is kind of camouflaged what I'm really feeling, you know, and people don't really know that, well, how much it's really affected me, because I think I cope with it quite well outwardly. Inwardly, it's just constant pain. It's that constant. Naturally, I'm a person who finds it difficult to let go. You know, I'm not very excited about change, especially when you're not expecting anything bad to happen, and you build your world around this person or these people, and then something like that happens. And you know, luckily we had this amazing relationship. You know, we were sisters. We were so close. We were best friends, and her kids were like my kids. I never felt that like, oh my gosh, you know, I need to have kids or whatever. They were just always like a major part of me. So losing all 3 of them was just, I don't know, more than traumatizing. And I think it's kind of damaged me in a way, you know, my soul.
The song Missing You was written for her sister and her sister's 2 children who died in a car accident. That was my wife and kids who died in the car accident. After they passed away, I didn't go back to work. I was literally wasting away.
It's just so bizarre for me because, I mean, if you think about losing someone and then suddenly you write this song and suddenly it becomes this hit, and then, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me really, because I was about to quit my singing completely because I had been disappointed so many times. Even though I was working as a cover artist, I was getting a lot of no's from record companies. So when I lost them, I wanted to quit. I had actually phoned my sister's husband, who is my manager now, and I said to him, listen, I need to talk to you. Moving back to Durban, probably gonna get married, have children, have a normal life. I'm not singing anymore, because what's the point?
And then I reminded her that music and her dream and her passion for music wasn't just her dream alone. My wife and my kids were her biggest fans. My little girl, every time you asked her what you want to be when you grow up, she said Auntie Jay. And she was going to be a star. She was going to be an absolute star. And funny, Jay even said to her, you know, if ever she makes it big in the music industry, she would make sure that my daughter dances in her first music video, a promise which she actually kept.
And I thought about it, and I said, okay, cool, let's give it a shot. I mean, I felt like there's nothing to live for now either, and so did he.
That same day, Jay and Noel started their own record company,
which is called NB Music Records, and NB stands for Noel and Bronwyn. And my sister did have a company before that, a cleaning company called NB Cleaning and General Services, so we kept the name. I wanted to keep the name. And I guess they've just watched over us the whole time, and they still are.
And within 2 weeks of releasing their first single, Jay became an overnight success.
I just jotted down some lyrics previously, actually, when they just passed away. I was just writing down my feelings, which actually became Missing You, the song. And I went into a studio and I just sang, and it started off as a ballad. And then we kind of changed it into the song that everybody knows as Missing You. Didn't expect anything from it, really. It was very emotional for me, but it was sadness, a sad song with hope. Like I still find it bizarre. I'm like, why did this happen now? Did I have to lose them for my dream to be realized? I mean, really, what is that all about? So I was actually quite angry. I was quite angry with everything, even though I was enjoying the success, and there was just a big part of me always walking around like a corpse, which nobody noticed because nobody really knew me. They just thought, wow, wow, wow. And inside I was looking at them thinking, I have no idea what I had to go through to get this.
Within a short space of time, Jay became the first R&B artist in the history of South Africa to obtain platinum status for her single. And on top of it, also getting herself nominated for 3 Summer Awards.
And yes, I've got music out there, that's great, but I need to do so much more, I feel, to be called a celebrity. You need to earn it.
On the outside, it seemed that Jay's life was finally on track, but with new challenges and obstacles.
It's challenging because sometimes the business ideas, they don't match up with how I feel as an artist. You know, at the end of the day, Noel is my manager. He'll make the final decision if he thinks it's good for my career, and I might not like it as his partner for the company. So we're kind of working through those issues. We work through it quite well. I mean, I know him forever, so that kind of helps his family, and I think it's good to have somebody like that, someone you can trust with your career and as your business partner. I grew up not being sure of myself, you know? I was never told, oh, you're special and you this and you that. No, I didn't grow up like that. I grew up always feeling like, I don't know, I'm not sure. I can't, and I can't handle that attitude anymore. When I see people like that now, I just cringe. And I think, no, we have to, you have to get out of that. So, yes, I've grown a lot, but I still got a lot more growing to do because I still struggle with insecurities, daily, with things that people won't believe if they just see me. They think, I've got it all down. But that's not the way it is.
That bounce, and you can just walk up in like a cross and vibe with the people. Pretend there's an audience.
Doing the music videos, because we've got new artists now. We've got Incha, the 11-year-old violinist. And I would say I'm kind of mentoring her, and I'm really, really, really loving it. Because I see myself going there, when I'm like really done with singing, or I'm like almost done. But I have a passion for that. I love to look at new talent and just to kind of nurture that and mold them into the best that they can be. I'm so passionate about it because I know how difficult it is to get yourself out there and how difficult it is to believe in yourself and just bring that wonderfulness out. If it's not nurtured, then it's going to go to waste. And I've seen too many wastes.
That looks stunning.
I like that. Makes me look taller, I think. And we want that.
Yes.
At the office, I'm always up to, I'm going to Tess, who's the designer, because I like a person to be presented as best as they can. So the person is more comfortable, because I don't believe in manufacturing someone, an artist. You've got to be real. That's me, I just believe that. And then I put that over, and then on stage I just like rip it off and throw it once. Yeah. The real me is the simple person who who loves to care about people. I always have a line that I've drawn for myself, you know? And I find it challenging in this industry when people try to push me to cross that line in order to become more successful. I have major issues with that. I come across as maybe being stubborn or full of nonsense or whatever, but I don't care. It doesn't matter what you think because, you know, I know what I want and I know who I am. So it's going to be difficult for you to convince me. If I do end up doing it, I'm going to be really miserable doing it.
Notwithstanding her hectic schedule, Jay is also a social development activist striving to help kids who live in poverty. In 2003, with the help of the Wentworth Organization for Women, Jay opened up a dance academy in the hope of giving these children a hand up and not a hand out.
And those are the things for me that are so fulfilling. You know, I love performing on stage, but at the end of the day, when you're off that stage, you've got to love who you are still. And you've got to feel that what you've done, other than performing, is making an impact, a positive impact on other people. And that is why I feel good about myself today. I want people who don't have the self-esteem today to grow up, to gain that self-esteem that I'm getting now in my life. Because I know how I felt previously. You know, I thought I wouldn't become anything. And I really thought, because sometimes people tell you those things as a youngster. You'll become nothing. You're going to end up this and you're going to end up that because of the system. But it feels good to prove people wrong. It really does.
I've seen her getting involved in community projects that help the younger generation. I was present when she was part of a program to establish a new computer lab in the Wentworth area, which is a very depressed community. Serious social ills and challenges that we face in that suburb. Drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and quite a few other community issues have come to the fore. And Jay has thrown a lot in with these youth projects to help the younger people, to guide them on the right path. And from that point of view, I think that she's very special, not having forgotten her grassroots.
I haven't seen you for so long, I can't believe it. Yo.
Yes, I
He drove to Namaqualand, did 2 shows, came back. Yeah. My mom is the sweetest person on earth. Okay, she's like, I get really depressed because she's getting old. She's not supposed to. Yeah, my mom is just this really sweet person. We lost my dad when I was 14 years old. And it was so hard for her, you know, to raise this family of like 10 kids. We were really, really close. And we still are, but I've always been so afraid to lose her, you know. And I'm so glad that God has kept her so long. I'm really, really, really thankful for that. But my mom is this amazingly strong woman. She gave birth at home, and my dad was like the midwife. And my younger sister who passed away, and my little brother and myself, she cuts our cords herself. And I always said, so maybe that's why we're so close. Maybe that's why I'm so attached to you, because you actually cut it yourself.
Yeah, I'm not just missing you, girl.
Yeah, I'm missing it too.
I love you and I miss you so much.
Love you too. Love you. I think it's my mom's fault that I am the way I am. Yeah. I love to have time alone, and some people don't get it. But I really need to be alone with myself. I read my Bible. It's not just any Bible. It's a Bible called Woman Thou Art Loosed. by T.D. Jakes, and it's just amazing. The gospel pearls in there, and everything's beautiful. And I love laughing. I love comedy. I love to watch comedy, and I want to just get my chuckle on, and I'm good to go. And then, of course, exercise. I couldn't live without exercise. I'd go insane. So that's it. Don't ask for much. I mean, a spa treatment every now and then is good too. Business-wise, we're growing this company, and I'm loving contributing to growing it. We're going to see big things happen for Incha, for our other artists, Yvette, Too Funky, and whoever else joins our stable. And I really feel that I've got a lot of passion for this. I've got a lot to give in the background, not just on stage. So I feel that this company is really going to grow because the passion is there. And without a doubt, my manager has all the passion in the world. That's always the big question for aspiring artists. You know, what would you say to them? I would always say to them that, you know, take your head out of the clouds. Don't think this is a game. It's not a game. If you don't have the love for it, you don't have the passion for it, then you shouldn't do it, really. As talented as you might be, it doesn't mean every artist is going to make it. We all can't make it, you know? So you've got to have the drive and the passion because it's tough out there. It's actually beyond tough, really. You've got to be in it to know just how tough it is. And if you're really serious about your career, if you're really serious about being in music, you guys should listen. People should listen and take notes of other artists, how they're really, really living and what they really, really go through. Because those cameras aren't flashing all the time. You know, there's times when you're alone and you've got to face things. You've got to pay the bills. Because fame doesn't pay the bills. What's important to me is that you've still got to have integrity. You cannot go out there and sell your soul and expect to be successful. You might be for 5 minutes. But then after that, what's going to happen to you?
The key to her success is she's kept the dream alive. She's never given up, and she's still doing her damnedest day in and day out to pursue the dream. She knows it's a long journey. She knows that there's, that the road ahead is still very long, and she's as hungry as she is now as she was then. I mean, there's lots of times where she gets frustrated and downhearted, etc., but she always dusts herself off and just continues.